All right. Welcome to another episode of Only Comics. I'm Mike. This is Adrian.
Good morning, man.
What's up, bro?
Not much, baby. I got this. My new watch is more.
Look at that.
It's more steampunk.
It is
than it is comics. But I felt it was appropriate. I put it with my gear. I put it with
Looks
the
like
rest of my
something
gear.
Tony Stark might wear, dude.
Possibly.
I feel like you're gonna swipe and maybe like some portal's gonna open up or something.
That's it. That's it.
At some point.
At some point.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Y'all will have to stay tuned to see
That's
that.
it. That's it.
Dude, we got some fun stuff happening today. We have a lot going on in comics.
Cool.
Some Deadpool and Wolverine news. But, I think, Adrian, we'll hop right into the news. There's a piece of news that, I've said before that I like to give gifts here, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think this piece of news is going to be a gift to you.
Okay.
Because we've had some discussions on this show about Homelander and Superman, the Justice League, who you're wearing today.
Right.
Dude, how in tune was that? Like, did you know this was in the news before you threw that on? Or?
I did not, but there's also another reason why I'm wearing this.
Why is that?
The hidden gem.
Okay.
So we'll go into that.
A little teaser for that.
And the hidden gem is going to be a little more of a discussion than it is a hidden gem, but that's okay. We'll get a little teaser for the hidden gem, so stick around.
Wow. I'm looking forward to that. So, all right. You got me all distracted now. I'm curious to what the hidden gem is. But Justice League, the Seven, we've talked about them a lot on this show, right?
Yes.
Now, Anthony Starr. You know Anthony Starr? He plays Homelander?
I do know Anthony Starr because he was my suggestion for the next Wolverine.
Yes, he was. And there's some fans that agree with you, Adrian.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, someone was like, say it on the show. And I was like, he did like 100 times. But sure, wait, there you go. You just said it on the show again.
Right.
For my man from, I don't know his name. I can't remember. But anyways, Anthony Starr. They're interviewing Anthony recently.
Yep.
And I guess it was a follow-up to Jack Quaid. So Jack Quaid plays... what's the guy in The Boys? Is it Stewie?
Yeah.
Jack Quaid plays Stewie.
The dude that was with Starlight or whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Or Annie, as he calls her.
Annie. I don't know what that is.
But
That's
anyway, Starlight. So my man Quaid, Jack Quaid, in an interview talked about the fact that he believes Superman could defeat Homelander. Right. So
wow.
Yeah. So Anthony Starr came back, and, I knew I liked Anthony Starr, but you're going to like him even more after this.
Okay.
He says, oh, really? Is that what he thinks? Here's why Homelander would kick Superman's ass. Damn, talking that shit. There's no kryptonite factor, and homie would fight so dirty. He's the type, oh, you got me? And he goes down and comes up and throws sand in your eyes. He's a dirty dude, where Superman is always like, oh, I wouldn't do that. There's innocent children that might get hurt.
Right.
Homie's going to use human shield homie's going to human shield himself with kids. That's an interesting take right there.
Right.
So how do you feel about Anthony Starr's comments here in response to Jack Quaid?
I never thought about the kids as human shield angle, but what he's saying is exactly the same things that we have said all along.
Correct.
Homelander would fight dirty. He doesn't have the checks and balances that Superman does.
Correct.
So I agree.
Yep. Me too. So, you know what, Anthony Starr, you just moved up like even more levels. Bring him into the MCU. Let him play someone there too. Why not?
I think this is probably a segue. Once they start bringing up these people, he's like, hey, you can play Homelander. Now, he can literally play according to my rules, he can play any two characters in either Marvel or DC because technically Homelander isn't in either one of those. Not technically. He's not. And he's not also...
It's a little loophole in your rule.
Exactly.
You sound like an attorney over there.
That's right. That's what I do.
Daredevil almost, Wow. So, all right. So technically he could play three characters as long as it's one Marvel, one DC, you're saying. Because Homelander is a comic character.
Yeah. I'll still give him two.
Okay.
Because Homelander is just a dirty bastard, man. he doesn't count. Anybody from the boys don't count, man.
Got you. But you know what? And, I mean, it's a fun, and that's what, the people that weren't hating on us when we said this, Adrian, what they said was that's a good conversation starter.
Okay.
Know? And it is.
Sure.
And I've said this before, the real answer is whoever the writers want to win would win. They found a way for Batman to beat Superman several times, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, is it crazy that Homelander figures it out? I don't think so. And the human shield thing is something that Superman ain't killing no kids.
Right. I mean, he wouldn't human shield anybody.
Exactly.
So the other thing is with the 2 limit rule, I was thinking about this coming in today.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Vision, right?
Yeah.
Technically, he's at his two person limit too, because remember, he was the voice of Jarvis originally. So there's that.
So you're counting Jarvis as a character?
Absolutely, he's AI, right?
Yeah.
Aren't we in the AI world? And
we are.
You know?
We are. Wow. Well, hey, there you go. What's his name? Patrick Bettany. He's out. Now, I saw this is not in our comic news and rumors, but it kind of is. I saw news that the Vision series on Disney Plus, the one that was rumored a while back, they're moving forward with it. I guess it's coming either next year or 2026, but they're going to have a series that's focused on the Vision character after WandaVision, the White Vision that, kind of flew up and said, I am Vision. So,
right.
Little sidebar, it's just
sure.
I'm filled with comic news and rumors.
That's it.
Yep.
You know what? When it comes to movies and how often they put them out, to me, there's no limit with series and animations.
Okay.
It's the movies that get to be sickening because in the back of your mind, there's like all this production, and it ends up to be like a shit movie,
right?
Like Madam Web. That's like nonsensical.
Yep.
Madam Web should have been like a She-Hulk thing. Just put it on Netflix or Disney and just call it a day. Nobody really cares.
Right. I think those actresses should have a 1 character limit in Madam Web. I'm just saying.
Right. Well, the other reason it's probably so popular on Netflix is because she played in the Dark series or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They're probably looking for a little Madam Web skin, maybe.
Right?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
They were looking for a different type of movie. So.
Exactly.
Speaking of movies, speaking of things that are crazy, Deadpool Wolverine coming out in almost 2 months. It's July 26th, evening of July 25th. Adrian, I'm just telling everybody right now, I will be at the first showing of this damn movie. It's Thursday at 3 in the afternoon. I will be there.
Thursday, I would probably be there as well because that's a perfect time.
Yes.
Because most people are working.
Correct.
So they're out of your way. Most kids are in school,
right?
But then you're probably gonna have some kid field trip experience.
Sure.
Some school might do a field trip at 3 o'clock on that day, and then that throws all that out the way. So
maybe I think I'll have to go to one of those theaters where you buy actual tickets in advance, and save your seat. Like IMAX or something. But I'm just telling everyone, not that y'all asked, but I will be there 3 p.m. So
got it.
Anyways, a lot of other people will as well. So tickets for this movie went on sale earlier this week. The 1 day total for this. Now, keep in mind, this is a rated R movie, so it's not you're joking about kids, but most kids can't even legally go see this movie, right?
Sure.
So it's a rated R movie. First day sales, almost 9 million in ticket sales.
Wow.
That's crazy, dude.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
that's a lot. So is that U.S. only, or is it being distributed worldwide?
It is worldwide.
All at once? Or?
It is worldwide. I believe. No, I think this is just the U.S. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because it opens. Maybe it opens a different day overseas, but this is just the U.S.
Nice.
So this will be $100 million movie first weekend, and then some.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised this thing hits $1 billion.
Right.
I don't know the last movie that's hit $1 billion. I also read somewhere that the box office at this point last year was maybe like 20 or 30% ahead of where it is now for revenue. Like there's been no movies lately.
Right.
When's the last time you were like, I want to go to the movies to see something?
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It has been a minute. So it's just, and also things are coming out. Well, first of all, they've been putting out a stream, no pun intended, stream of shit.
Yes.
Right?
That's not good.
Which by the time you even realize that the movie is out, right? It's already on a platform, Netflix, Max or Plus. Amazon or something like that. I mean, when it goes straight to Temu, I mean, it's just a real shit movie, right?
Yeah.
But so I mean, these movies have been going from theater to streaming so quickly lately. It's like by the time you become unbusy, it's you can sit down in your front of your living room and watch it.
Right.
So not a real big, real drivers to go to a theater to actually see a movie.
No. I mean the last comic book movie I saw was Madam Web,
right?
Which I waited till it was like on streaming.
Right.
Now I did Well, I didn't. I did buy it, unfortunately. You know, because our fans were asking us to review it, so we bit the bullet. We did that, but that was the last one, and I did not see that in the theaters. I'm glad I didn't.
Right.
Up next, Adrian, you are you're a Green Lantern fan.
Yes.
I see him on your shirt right now.
Yep.
There's a series. Had no idea they were making this. This is how quiet DC has been. Right? Okay. You know, people say you guys are a Marvel bias. No, maybe DC has a fan bias and they don't want to tell us about their shit. So I don't know. But James Gunn, you know, he's taking over. He's righting the ship, Adrian.
Okay.
They're putting together a Lantern series, a Green Lantern series. It was a story about a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, called Lanterns on Max. Did you know anything about this?
I did not. I had heard rumors. I don't know if it was this year or at some point last year, but I heard rumors about it. It's basically kind of like because the Lanterns are basically detectives, or interstellar cops. Okay. So it's kind of like a detective kind of series. I understand it to be.
Yep. Yeah. James Gunn posted about it on social media a couple of days ago. He says, "Yes, it's true. The Lanterns DCU series is putting together a crack team of writers." Now, I don't know where James Gunn grew up, but a crack team, it's not a good thing. I'm just saying. We all grew up in different areas, right? Maybe crack's a little different around where he's from. But anyways, I think what he's getting at is like they're gonna be really good.
Top tier.
Okay, top tier, crack. Right. So this crack team of writers, Chris Mundy, I don't know who that is. Tom King, he's a comic book writer. People have some interesting feelings about Tom King. He had a Batman run that got a little way too wacky, but it did have some good stories in there.
Okay.
And then Damon Lindelof, he says, hearty welcome to them, whatnot. They're joining the DC studios. But this series, dude, one of the writers is from a writer from Lost. I've never seen Lost. You ever watch that show?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, was it good?
Was it Lost or was it Island?
Lost is like there was like a plane crash or something. They live on this island for a long time, and allegedly the end is some crazy shit that maybe it's not real, it's a dream. I don't know.
Oh, I know, but yeah, I did see that.
Okay.
Very good series.
Okay.
And I think at the end they all died at different times. They all ended up in some like a heaven or a purgatory or something like that, where they all reunited. So it was a pretty interesting show. I did see it. Yeah. But is one of the writers OnlyFans boy? He's unemployed.
No, he's banned, dude. Obviously he can't make money outside of his career.
It's too bad.
Yes. But so Damon Lindelof, I'm probably screwing that name up. He's an Emmy award-winning writer of Lost and then the Watchmen series.
Lindelof, not Hasselhoff?
No, not Hasselhoff. Okay. David Hasselhoff is writing this. Definitely. And also the Ozark showrunner, Chris Mundy, is working on this as well. So Ozark, you ever watched that show on Netflix?
No, I've never seen that.
It's pretty good. Yeah. It's one of those, if you like Breaking Bad, you'll like Ozark. I think it gets a little too crazy in the last season, but
is that the guy who like moves money around?
Yes.
The funny guy.
Yep.
And
Jason Bateman.
They end up moving into some woods or something like that. I started watching it. It was pretty good. Yeah. I saw like 2 or 3 episodes of it. I got to get back into it.
It's a good one, dude. So, I mean, sounds like some pretty good writers on this show.
Sure.
You interested in this?
Yeah, I do like Green Lantern.
Yep.
The only blot in the Green Lantern universe for me was Ryan Reynolds playing. Not even. I'm not even gonna say Ryan Reynolds.
That movie.
Just that movie.
Yeah.
It was just bad.
Right.
So outside of that, I like the Green Lanterns.
Yeah. I don't know Actually, I learned a lot about the Green Lanterns here on Only Comics, Adrian, because you did a hidden gem. You did what's my man's name? Hal Jordan? No, John Stewart. You did John Stewart.
Right.
Hidden gem, great. And I learned so much about them. And I've seen some of like Guy Gardner in the animated movies, you know, when he's fucking with Batman and shit like that. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in this. And I just also because there's good writers. And I think that's what has been missing from comic movies and shows lately. It's like that you have the characters, you got the big action, the CGI and all that shit, but the stories have not been great. They've been very inconsistent, you know. Like you watch Loki, great story. You watch the Marvels, not so much.
Right.
You know, Madam Web, atrocious. The Batman, great story. Like all these different. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But you know why, like the Batman or any Batman movie is much better or typically on par better than other movies is because Batman is, I mean, there's not so much CGI that's needed for his stuff.
Correct.
So you have to write good stories.
Yes.
Daredevil, same thing.
Yeah.
These are
Oh, yeah, you can't hide it with CGI.
Right. These are blue collar, superheroes. So you have to write a good story in order to make it entertaining.
Right.
Whereas with something like Superman, you can do CGI all day, which then, of course, flops.
Yeah, it's a shit show. Speaking of Batman, this is a good segue there, Adrian. It's like we're professionals. It's like we've been doing this for a while or something. The last Halloween. So Jeff Loeb, he's going to conclude the acclaimed saga with a new 10-issue series. So you remember The Long Halloween, which, in my opinion, probably the best Batman story ever told through comics.
Right.
It's been adapted to many different movies. I mean, The Dark Knight had a lot of Long Halloween influence in it. Even the Batman we were just talking about, there's a lot of Long Halloween influence in there. The whole detective story. Tim Sale did the artwork for that. He passed, I think, year before. So, big loss to the comic book community. He's a great artist. And when he was still alive, there was a plan to start this story again. They're not doing this now after he died, I guess the point is. They were talking about doing this. Their work. He actually drew, I think, the covers for each episode, each issue so far. Then he passed. It was 22 he passed. But they just announced, dude, that Jeff Loeb is they're going to release this thing. They're going to put it out. They're working with a bunch of different artists, so it'll be one of those series where it's a different artist each issue, I guess, which it could be good. Sometimes that's a little distracting,
right?
But they're going to conclude this story, and this is coming out September 28th of this year, so right around the corner. Dude, I'm looking forward to this, man. I mean, you read The Long Halloween. We did a deep dive into this. I mean, how do you feel about them concluding this?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a deep read. Something you just kind of like, as a dude, you just want to, I won't say curl up, but, you sit on the porch, open the comic, get some Joe or something else. And, just read through this thing. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited about it.
Yeah, this is sounding good, dude. I mean, I've said this before here. I read The Long Halloween almost every October. Nice. It's just like a thing, like, it's something. It's a Halloween. It starts in Halloween.
Sure.
And I mean, Batman just kind of has that like Halloween feel almost. Like I mean, Gotham's dark and gothic, so I feel like it's to your point, nice little cup of Joe.
Sure.
Maybe some tequila.
Maybe.
For our adult viewers out there, sit back, or maybe just a glass of water. Stay hydrated.
Okay.
Whatever, whatever floats your boat. But you're right. It is you kick your feet up outside, nice little breeze in the fall.
Yep.
Read this book. So sounds like just in time for this fall, September 28th. We're going to have this. That's cool. Perfect. Whoa, so it starts. It's going to be one of those one issue.
Sure.
A month. It'd be like when we were kids, Adrian.
Yeah. You got to wait the whole year to see everything. I'm okay with that.
Dude, maybe this is perfect for us. We'll review one issue.
Sure.
At a time here on Only Comics.
Yep.
Because, people give us some critique like, you guys only talk about movies. Well, when's the last time there's been a big comic announcement that you were actually interested in?
Right.
I mean, it's been a while.
I mean, we could talk about, the Pikachu releases or not.
No, you want to talk about Pokemon?
I think what we're refining ourselves to be is we want to talk about things that not only is fun for us, but, maybe fun for our viewers as well. And we don't want to bring in any boring news. Like, imagine if we just sat here and talk about Madam Web for like a month straight. I don't think.
No, I think
that'd be a good thing.
No.
Exactly.
So, Thunderbolts. It's a movie, dude, that when they first announced, I'm like, why? Sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, I was speaking of nonsense.
But, I mean, it seems like, I think there's been like a panic button pressed within the MCU, within Marvel lately. And I think they kind of have maybe refocused the direction of some of these movies. Like, you have the Captain America movie that's coming out next year. Initially, when I heard that whole synopsis, it sounded like a shit show. And I think they understood that, and there was a bunch of reshoots. And some of the stuff I'm hearing and seeing now seems like it's got me more intrigued, Maybe it's also just the delay. We had the writer's strike, what pushed a lot of this stuff back, so maybe that was a good thing. But anyway, Thunderbolts is one of these movies where when I first heard about it, I'm like, why? But now that I read a little more into it, it's I'm a little intrigued, Adrian. So, have you seen Black Widow?
Black Widow.
It's the movie with the guy from Stranger Things, the Red Guardian. He was all fat, barely fit in his suit. He was the dad.
Oh, the fact that I don't remember it means no.
Okay.
So no,
not.
I have not seen the Black Widow, but I do know the reference though.
Yes. So I will say this because I don't. People maybe accuse us of being a little too negative sometimes. Oh, okay. I'm not going to shit on Black Widow. Yeah. Could you believe that?
I'm appalled.
Yep, you're shocked. But Black Widow is actually not a bad movie. I think what happened with Black Widow was it was released like 5 years too late.
Okay.
She died already in the comics.
Yeah.
And then you're going to release a movie that takes place between Civil War and Infinity War.
Right.
But we're already past that. Right. And we saw the snap. It was just it should have been released a handful of years earlier. It was one of those like, who cares now?
It's with her and her sister,
yes.
Going around or something, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yelena's pretty badass character, dude. Like, so it was a decent movie, just wrong time in my opinion.
Okay.
But so Thunderbolts, they're saying is gonna kind of be a sequel to Black Widow, almost like how Captain America: Civil War was a sequel to Winter Soldier, meaning there's going to be in that movie, it was Captain America's story, but they had all the Avengers and everything else in there, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess it's going to continue some of that Black Widow story, but now have all these other characters in there.
All right, so what's the premise of the Thunderbolts? Are they like an anti-hero government team or
they're like
what?
Government. They're like the Suicide Squad.
So why would a Suicide Squad type team be a continuation from the Black Widow?
I mean,
is the government thing? Oh, okay, it's right because right, got it.
And Yelena was not, like her sister, Black Widow. I'm blanking on the name. You asked me this earlier. Do you ever blank on names?
Right.
What's Black Widow's name in the Natasha?
Yeah, Natasha
Romanoff.
Yep.
There you go. See, it's just had to get back in the Rolodex.
I was jumping around like, are you talking about like the actress's name or the character's name? Okay.
So, anyways, she was with the Avengers for a while. So, like, she crossed over to the good side. Right. And Yelena is kind of, like, still walking that line. From that aspect, it kind of makes sense.
Okay.
And she showed up in, what was it, Hawkeye? I think we got to see a little bit of her. And then I can't remember if she was in Echo or not. The only thing I remember from Echo was Kingpin. But anyway, so she's going to kind of handle the whole Red Room remnants and have these kind of sideline characters. Bucky, I guess, will be part of this. U.S. Agent. So they're going to tie in like the Falcon Winter Soldier story, Thunderbolts, and then I believe that will kind of lead into the Captain America movie. So it looks like maybe some things are starting to tie together.
Okay, so this is a government spy movie, basically.
Sounds like it.
As opposed to a superhero type movie or an anti-superhero type movie.
Right.
Because Suicide Squad is like an anti-hero. I mean, even though they're driven by the government.
Right.
So okay, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
I mean, a lot more than you were the first time you heard about this, right?
Yeah, it was like, what? I mean, why do we even need such a thing?
Yeah. And some set photos were leaked, and there's like some kind of contraption here that I guess people are saying is a super secret prison set. I don't know if that's what it looks like, but maybe it is. So, so I guess hence the whole Civil War, comparison. They were tied up, they were locked in a secret prison by the government because they wouldn't comply.
Right.
Then you had a team of kind of rebels to break them out. So, yeah, to your point, probably a little, secret spy type movie, which I'm ready for some stuff like this. I'm ready for a break of just a traditional superhero movie.
Sure.
And I think that's what we kind of got into for a little bit when they were rushing these out. So,
okay.
Yeah, dude, I'm more excited about this than I was when I first heard about it.
Cool.
All right. I mean, maybe, I don't know that it would make me go watch Black Widow again, but we'll see. All right. We're going to wrap up our news and rumors with a little thumbs up, thumbs down, Adrian.
Let's do it.
So we'll start off with my man, Anthony Starr. Homelander says Homelander would beat Superman. Dude, I'd give this 2 thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
There you go. Deadpool and Wolverine first day ticket sales set a rated R record at almost 9 million in sales for one day. I'm giving this a thumbs up, dude.
Thumbs up, I agree.
I'm ready
it's pretty
for this
cool.
movie. Yeah, absolutely. Think about, dude, the characters that we used to watch years ago on TV, cartoons that, most adults thought were stupid, corny. Now they're the biggest movies in the world.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So, fuck you, mom and dad. James Gunn announces Mac's creative team for the new Green Lantern series, Lanterns. Dude, this whole announcement, I'm giving this thing a thumbs up.
Yep,
dude.
thumbs up.
Jeff Loeb will continue and conclude the best Batman story ever, The Long Halloween, with a 10-issue series titled The Last Halloween.
Cool.
Dude, thumbs up. This is
Thumbs
awesome.
up.
Hey, what a great way to kind of honor Tim Sale.
Right.
Like continue this.
And I hope they do something like that, like they did with Chadwick Boseman, and Black Panther 2. Even though, okay, let's not go down that route.
Yeah.
But I do hope they kind of honor him.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
Maybe even like draw in their version of his style or something, like because that was one of the best things about The Long Halloween was the artwork.
Right.
Well, I mean, I can't even say it's the best thing because the story too. That was where. That sometimes you get one or the other, like great story, but the art's shitty, or man, this art's great, but I don't know what the hell's going on.
Right.
And that was one where, so I hope they do try to stay true to that original art
or
style.
even give him some kind of like a Batman rendition of the artist in a page.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Last piece of news, Thunderbolts may end up being a sequel to Black Widow. Sounds like kind of a spy type of government, anti-government movie. Sounds like they're tying in a lot of kind of loose ends. I'm giving this a thumbs up, dude.
Well, I give it a thumbs up only because I'm not quite at the thumbs down.
Okay.
So thumbs up.
It's like barely a thumbs up.
Yeah, kind of
one of these. I mean,
I'm on the fence, but I'm kind of tipping toward.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, there you have it. Comic news and rumors. You guys let us know. Do you agree with us? Do you not? And if you've not done this already, hit the subscribe button, like this video, share it with someone who you know will love it. I mean, I like to give gifts. Give this to someone as a gift.
Sure.
I think the Only Comics podcast is a great gift.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyone.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't have to like comics.
Right.
Because we do talk about comics and only comics.
Right.
And sometimes some other stuff.
Is this the first time we've had like a across the board thumbs up?
I think so, dude.
Oh, okay. I'm just
some positive news out there, Adrian. You know what it is? You get what you put out, and we fill the room, the air, the internets with positivity every week.
Right. The multiverses,
all of them. And now it's just coming back to us. Right?
Okay, I feel it.
Maybe it's going to continue. I feel it. With Deadpool and Wolverine, it's going to continue there. That's going to be a great movie. We're going to have a great show,
Sure.
Filling the world with positivity on this Memorial Day weekend. So,
there you go.
Next up, another game. We have a lot of games here. Like you said this a couple weeks ago. It's not a podcast. It's not a show. It's just fun.
Okay, absolutely.
So we get together, we talk shit, we play some games. This one is higher or lower, okay?
All right.
This is where I take advantage of the fact that you don't pay attention to Rotten Tomato scores. But I bet a lot of people don't.
Right.
So now, the movie that is going to be our baseline this week is it's very kind of on course for what we're doing today.
Okay.
Deadpool 2. Okay. So you don't know this movie's Rotten Tomato score.
Nope.
Right? All right. So Deadpool 2. Was this scored higher or lower than Deadpool 1?
Lower.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding. We got to get a bell, man. I always forget. Right. Ding, ding, ding. There you go. All right. Deadpool 2. Was this scored higher or lower than Logan?
Lower.
Correct. You're 2 for 2.
Right.
Dude, last week you bombed this.
Oh, yeah.
You're starting off great this week. All right.
Until you just said it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm going to
jinxing it.
I jinxed you right now. Did Deadpool 2 score higher or lower than X-Men Days of Future Past?
Higher. Okay.
Damn, see, I got you. Did Deadpool 2 score higher or lower than Captain Marvel?
Deadpool, Captain Marvel. I would say lower.
Nope.
Nope.
Too wrong. Now, all right, you're 2 and 2.
Okay.
This is the tiebreaker. This will determine if you win this round, Adrian. Did Deadpool 2 score higher or lower than Dark Phoenix?
Higher?
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. All right, you won this week, dude. 3-2.
Cool.
Look at that. Any of these scores, or actually, let me give you the scores. You wouldn't be surprised by them because you don't know them. All right, Deadpool 2 was scored 84% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Cool.
Deadpool 1 was scored 85, so 1% over.
Consistent.
Yeah. Yep. I like Deadpool 2 more than Deadpool 1, so I would probably flip those. But I think that's pretty accurate score.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun movies. They're entertaining. they're not Logan level.
Right.
So Logan, speaking of, scored 93 on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I maybe even bump it up to like a 95. Days of Future Past scored 90%.
Patrick Stewart kind of brought that down a little bit.
Nah, man, this is when he was still cool. This is before he got too old. This is before he looked like a corpse in a wheelchair. But
the new Bernie.
Yeah. Patrick Stewart should play Weekend at Bernie now.
There you go.
But 90%, I think that's probably one of the top. Not probably, it's one of the top X-Men movies. Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
When they balance the two. The only thing I don't like about that movie is Wolverine has the bone claws for most of it.
Yeah.
And it's just something about seeing the team on screen. I mean, I get story wise because of when it happened, but I would have liked to see more of the metal claws.
Right.
Captain Marvel. 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. How do you feel about that score?
That's way high.
It's high, right?
That's way high.
I mean, I'd say 48% maybe.
Right. The best scene in Captain Marvel was when that Kree ship attacked them when they was test flighting the jet.
Okay.
Right before how she got her powers. Right.
Yeah.
That was the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
I mean,
because she was too busy being scared and looking around than to look like she didn't want to be in the movie.
Correct. That movie, I mean, I like the 90s setting. I thought that was cool. Some of her powers look cool. I like the scene you're talking about was cool. I also like the end scene when she destroys the big ship, like when she kind of she's not like full powered, but she's kind of got the solar power going around her, and she's up in space. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. But 79, way too high.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix, 22%.
That's appropriate. Or even less.
A little high,
yeah, probably a little high.
I mean, is Dark Phoenix better than Madam Web? You know what? Well, let's tackle that on Agree to Disagree.
Right.
Okay. I'll think about it and give you my take. There you have it. Higher or lower? I wonder what Deadpool and Wolverine will be scored on Rotten Tomatoes.
Dude, it's got to at least do the 85 that Deadpool did.
Yeah.
And what was Wolverine?
93. Logan was 93.
It's got to be 90 or higher.
Yeah. And just because of how we're on this streak of shitty movies, I think we deserve a 93 or 95.
Oh yeah.
Don't give us no fucking 82 bullshit after all these years. You want to push it back. You want to bring Hugh Jackman out of retirement for 82?
Yeah.
Come on. Anyway, dude, on YouTube, my man Ryan Blackstock, who is actually son of Sekhmet on TikTok, so they got two identities here, right? But anyways, he asked a question, and he's a frequent commenter. Which was worse, the Eternals or the Inhumans? Now, I've not seen the Inhumans. Unfortunately, I have seen the Eternals. You've seen both of these.
Yes.
Inhumans is a show, right?
Yeah.
Well, in your opinion, to answer Ryan here, which one was worse?
They were both. No, they were not both bad. The Inhumans was because it was a series of shows, not just a movie, so they had more time to flush things out. It was interesting. Some things made sense, some things did not. If I were to score them, I would say Eternals probably 4.
Ooh.
Inhumans probably 5 or 4.5.
4 out of 5?
Four out of 10. Out of 10. So, I mean, they really didn't do justice to the Inhumans, but it was mildly more entertaining than the Eternals.
Okay.
So I'll put it that way.
So your answer is Eternals was worse than the Inhumans.
Yes.
There you have it, Ryan Blackstock. What do you think, Ryan? I mean, I trust you because Eternals was pretty damn bad.
Yeah.
Or boring. It was just so boring. Is that kind of what you're like? Inhumans wasn't boring?
Well, they had more time to flush a couple things out.
Yeah.
They introduced some characters. I don't like, I hardly ever like when they transition people from, white to black, black to white, or male to female, female to male, those kind of things. They, of course, nerfed Black Bolt. Medusa didn't get credit. It was cool to see Lockjaw. Karnak.
Also a hidden gem.
Also a hidden gem. Karnak, also a hidden gem.
Also, yeah.
You know, he was kind of weird looking in the show. He definitely didn't get props.
Got it. How was Lockjaw?
Gorgon. Lockjaw, I mean, he was more appearance than anything else.
Yeah.
He was more appearance than anything else because, you know, Lockjaw, you know, this giant dog that can teleport, you know, between dimensions and stuff or space. So that's a pretty cool thing. And it's hard to kind of like have him show up to do anything other than be a big ass dog, right? In an emergency situation.
Yeah.
But you know, Gorgon, I didn't like the portrayal of Gorgon in this. But outside of that, it was kind of like you know, here we are, blah blah blah. It was mildly entertaining.
Got it.
The Eternals was it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go into it.
I mean, you said that was mildly entertaining. The Eternals just wasn't entertaining. Like, next up, dude, Halle Berry Storm. So we had to clear the air though, okay? Because there was some people online took some things we said out of context. Okay. Because there was actually a response video, some other account, and there was a point. It was a short that we put out, but it was a clip from a longer segment where we were discussing the Halle Berry Storm.
Okay.
And you made a comment. You said that beautiful women. Well, actually, let me back up. We talked about Storm, and we said we didn't want her to show up in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
The Halle Berry version.
Right.
I still stand behind that. You still agree?
I agree.
And then someone in the comments was like, "You don't want to look at Halle Berry," you know, almost like, "Well, you don't like Halle Berry." We didn't say that.
That comment was almost like, she's so beautiful, you should have her in anything.
Right.
You should want her there because she's pretty.
Exactly.
Which is my point.
Right. Now, would you agree that Halle Berry is a phenomenal actress?
Yeah, I do agree.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal actress.
And that was what, you know, this little stupid account said. They're like, well, you know, Halle Berry broke down barriers. But we never said she was I think she's a great actress. But is it not true that a great actress or actor could be miscast?
Absolutely.
Let me give a perfect example.
Absolutely.
You like Al Pacino?
Yep.
Could you imagine Al Pacino playing Professor Xavier?
No, not at all.
So does that mean I don't like Al Pacino and he's not a good actor?
Right.
No, it means miscast. So I think it was miscast. I mean, Storm is an Omega level mutant. Mm-hmm. First of all, she's from Africa.
Right.
I don't know where Halle Berry's from, but you would assume there'd be some type of accent. Now, that could be the writing or whatever,
sure.
Right? She's also a Wakandan queen at one point. Like, she's not that... I just don't think that Halle Berry fit that character, that role. Someone said Angela Bassett. Now, she's older now.
Yeah.
But I do think it would be someone with a little more presence. Like,
exactly.
And that's not, I mean, and again, Halle Berry is a phenomenal actress. Now, the couple movies that are bad of hers are the comic book movies. I just think maybe she's not a good fit for comic characters.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's like just like Jennifer Lawrence, miscast.
Sure.
Games of Thrones, redhead chick, miscast. Sophie Turner.
Yep.
I mean, there are people that's
Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse. Miscast.
Well, that was a whole travesty.
But he's a great actor.
Exactly.
I would never say he's always a bad actor. So that's what we need. This guy took our shit out of context. He cut off the part where you said, you know, beautiful women don't make a beautiful actress. Cut out the part where you also said that doesn't make them a good comic book character.
Right.
So it's kind of like, you know, Wendy Williams.
Right.
He's like the Wendy Williams of TikTok.
Oh, okay.
You know, take it out of context, get a little bit of views.
Right.
So, anyways,
he got a what they call it? He got a sound bite.
Yes,
and he ran with it to make himself
100%.
more. Right. Okay.
Yep. And you know, the account shall remain nameless. It's called Impound Comics. I think his account should be impounded. But anyways, but actually, no. I wish you all the success in the world, but just don't steal our shit and take it out of context.
Right.
At least quote us for what we really said.
Yep.
And next time, tag us.
And that
is that, you know, there was a fan of ours that sent it to me like, "Hey, look at this idiot." It's like, oh shit, thanks. So just tag us. I mean, it's all fun. They're all trying to grow accounts, get views. I got you, but that's not what we said.
Yeah, but you don't grow. You can do it, but it's just shitty to grow your account by shitting on other people. So
we ain't shitting on you, bro. Wish you all success in the world, but don't take our shit out of context. And we think Halle Berry's great. I just don't like her as Storm.
You know what it is, right?
What's that?
So they understand that all the producers and writers and, you know, all these people are listening to us. So they trying to, you know, troll us a little bit. You know, trying to get a little bit, steal a little bit of our juice. It's okay.
Hey.
We got enough. You know what? The concept of the pie. People think that the more slices you cut out of a pie, the smaller the pie gets. the pie is multiversal.
Oh,
it never grows smaller.
Exactly.
You know, you can always get your slice, and there'll be plenty of other slices available.
Absolutely. Rising tide raises all ships, as they say.
There you go.
You know, but yes, stealing someone's content, putting out of context, as my daughter would say, couldn't be me. So, anyways, cheers. Moving on. Hidden gem, Adrian. The anticipation has built enough. It's time for me to turn this over to you and let me know who the hidden gem is this week.
All right, so the hidden gem is not so hidden.
Okay.
All this DC gear, the hidden gem this week is Superman. All right, so we have talked a lot. I think we started this thing about, at least I feel like we started this thing about who would beat the Justice League, right?
Yes. Yep.
And I think a lot of people think, when they think of the Justice League, they think of primarily of two people, Superman and Batman.
Okay.
Everybody else is like, sidelined, right? But then I think a lot of people, their minds block at the thought of Superman being defeated, because he is supposed to be one of the, if not the most powerful superhero in the DC universe, right?
Okay.
Now, Superman is a lot of things, but he is not the most powerful character in any comic book, universe. He has a lot of attributes, but he also has a lot of weaknesses. So this week I thought do a little deep dive into Superman.
Yeah.
And why he shouldn't be thought of as the top when it comes to DC.
Okay.
Right? So, Superman, his biggest power, when people think about Superman, they think about his strength. He has a lot of it, right? Yep. In some comics, he has been written to be able to, so the Earth weighs about 6 trillion tons.
Okay.
Right. So he has been written to be bench pressing the equivalent of the Earth for 24 hours.
Damn.
Right? Or 3 days, 3 straight days.
Yeah.
He's like, that's all you got? That's all you got? So that's a lot of strength. He can fly extremely fast, right? As a matter of fact, he could do all these things before he was enhanced by, I think he got some old god's blood or something. When he fought like Darkseid, his powers were enhanced.
Got it.
So he got all these other crazy kind of powers like teleportation, being able to how the Flash can like vibrate through things. He can change his molecular structure, so he can probably vibrate or phase through things, things like that. And we know about the heat vision, the macro, the telescopic, all that stuff. Some interesting things I did find out was, like, with his vision, he can tune his vision so precisely where we know, like with X-ray, he can look through things, right? But he can also not just look through things, but he can tune his vision to the point where he can peel back what he sees through in layers, right? So he can look through an object through a box completely.
Yeah.
But then he can tune his eyes back to where he can just see what's in the box.
Got it.
Kind of a deal. Or the molecules in the top layer of the box. So that was pretty cool. But his limitations are, he's not as fast as the Flash. That's been proven. So the Flash can always beat him. But, people's like, well, why is he not a speedster? Well, speedsters get their power from a whatever universe they're in. Yeah. So they are essentially a part of that universe. Superman doesn't get his powers like that. He gets his powers from, the yellow sun, which is also interesting, which is part of the things that make him so vulnerable, right? So he can fly around the universe and all this other kind of stuff. Gets his power from the yellow sun. But actually, I'm gonna say that for later. The things that make him not so powerful, which also makes him capable of being part of a team that could be defeated by the X-Men or Franklin Storm before he's even born, right?
Damn.
So Superman has a lot going for him, but it's not everything. And I understand why people think that, Justice League is this all-out team. Yeah. But there's so many things that just okay when people think about this top tier character. So first of all, did you know that Black Lightning figured out? Now, Black Lightning. So everybody's probably pretty much defeated Superman.
Yeah. Damn.
Batman.
It's like a hidden gem where you're kind of shitting on Superman, Adrian.
I'm not shit. He's a great character.
Yeah.
And somebody said it to the point where Superman's powers, his powers are so vast. His strength comes from what he doesn't show, as opposed to what he does show. He practices so much restraint.
Yeah.
When you can fly thousands of times the speed of light to show up at another location to deliver a punch that would pretty much, he can drag universes around pretty much. I mean, his all-empowering strength. So a very, very powerful force. But his weaknesses are so mundane. Yeah. First of all, we got the Martha thing, right? Martha, what? So we got that. Then, of course, we got the varying colors of kryptonite. They do different things to him. Then we have the magic, right? So Black Adam. Now, Black Adam isn't as powerful as Superman, but with all the power sets and the fact that he's insane. Insane is probably a bad word. He's singularly devoted to whatever Black Adam is trying to do at the time, right? So magic is a problem for him. Now, Black Lightning figured out that and Black Lightning can control electricity, right?
Yeah.
By tuning the color frequency of his lightning, he turns it red, which depowers Superman for as long. So he can, and he's done this. He encased Superman in a field of like red electricity, and it depowers Superman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's that kind of stuff that makes him. There's so many vulnerabilities. Besides the fact that his own mind is his biggest limitation. Like I said, his power comes from all the stuff that he tries not to do, as opposed to what he can do. I mean, if you can fly 1,000 times the speed of light, you can bench press the equivalent of the Earth with no sweat. You have a lot of capability.
Sure.
But your locks are mental. Yeah. For the most part, right? So I didn't have Superman as a hidden gem because I want to shit on him. He's an amazing character, but as part of a team like Batman, I think the Batman with time, like when we've discussed, Batman with time can defeat anybody. Sure. The X-Men, the Avengers, anybody. Yep. I think a personality like in a group, and I think this is why Batman does things by himself. Somebody like Superman, somebody like Wonder Woman, they would get in his way because he want to do things however he want to do it. But the team Justice League, first of all, I don't think Superman should be at the top tier because people think that, we got to get through Superman before and he can do pretty much anything. Well, he can't. Right. So this hidden gem isn't necessarily obviously a positive one, but I just want to expand a little bit because I think people think about the Justice League as being Superman, and it's not just Superman. But the Justice League does have a lot of weaknesses, and it starts with what people think is the top tier, which is the man, Superman. Gotcha. So that's it.
That was an interesting hidden gem. Nice little flip you had on us there. Superman, I respect the character. I'm pretty sure he's the first superhero. Like, I think they've confirmed, first created superhero for comics and whatnot.
Like the 40s or something like that, or maybe even earlier.
Even the 30s,
yeah, maybe 38, 39 or something like that.
39. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I respect that he was created at a time where there were no superheroes. So, of course, they had to make him almost perfect.
Well, they made him, because remember when he came out, he was faster than the speeding bullet. He was basically leaping at one point, like the Hulk. He wasn't necessarily flying.
Correct.
So they brought him down. He started out, as far as the imagination back then, right, being Superman. And then they evolved his powers over time. I mean, at some point, they did to him what they do to most people, like the Wonder Woman. They made him have all these powers, almost like a phoenix, right? Teleport, mind read, telekinesis, all this stuff. They pulled that back because it didn't make sense, right? So they have, increased his powers over time. And then when you get stuff like God's blood, right? The old God's blood, not big G.
Right.
Then, you know, you enhance what you already have, your strength, your speed, your other abilities, so on and so forth.
Now, who on the Marvel side would you say is comparison to Superman? Like, I think about Gladiator right off the bat.
Sentry, I think, is supposed to be the strongest.
Okay.
If you want to think about the strongest in direct comparison to Superman, it's I think it's Sentry.
Okay.
Even on the DC side, I think there's a character. I think the Atom. I think he's more powerful than Superman. He's also a better fighter too.
Yeah.
So,
got it. Captain Marvel is one that I know their power sets are different, but I mean, from a power level, is she one you'd put up there with Superman? Not the one from the movie.
Again, her power comes from absorbing. It is more energy blasts and shields. Yeah. Right. I don't know her strength level, but I don't think it's Superman level.
Got it.
Now, Superman has this one feature called it's almost like a starburst.
Yeah.
He can expel all of his cells absorb both solar and cosmic radiation. He can actually get powered up from somebody else. Right? It doesn't have to be the sun. He can expel all of that energy at once. It'd be like it's like a in-game bomb, right? Yeah. He can expel all the energy from his cells all at once, but of course that immediately makes him vulnerable, makes him human.
Got it.
And it takes like 24 hours for him to recover. Okay. But over time, he's learned to do these things. He can do it, but in smaller bursts, so it doesn't completely. So Captain Marvel wields that kind of explosive power all the time.
Right, right.
So it wouldn't be a thing. I think Superman would defeat Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Because of all his other attributes.
Yeah.
He can move, instantly, pretty much like the Flash. He's not as fast as Flash, but he can move pretty fast.
He's faster than she is.
Right. He's faster than she is. She's stronger than she is. He has other power sets. The laser beam eyes, the hand clap thing like the Hulk.
Yeah.
So he has other things other than just shooting out beams of energy. Dude. So he could probably, sneak up behind her, crack her neck, and that'll be that.
Gotcha. Hulk versus Superman. I remember you sent me. It was some account on YouTube. They made their own animation. It was a fun video, dude.
Yeah.
Who ended up winning in that video? Was it Hulk?
Superman let the Hulk win, which depowered him because he looked around. He's like, dude, he is never going to stop.
Right.
And I'm never going to stop trying to stop him.
Correct.
But in the meantime, we're destroying this planet.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like in space. They were underground creating tsunamis. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so impressed with that. Whoever made that video.
Right.
I was so impressed with that. Because I'd never seen the Hulk's power utilized like that. This dude is hypersonic, flying around the air with his hand claps. Yep. That was impressive. And the same thing on the ground. So I think that was an accurate portrayal.
Dude, Hulk would fit a hidden gem because he's not been done justice on screen yet.
Nope.
They did a much better job with him in the early Avengers movies. When Mark Ruffalo first took it over. I know you liked Edward Norton better as Bruce, right?
Well, I liked Edward Norton's portrayal more as Bruce Banner turning into the Hulk because the Hulk is all CGI at some point. So I liked his portrayal as a Bruce Banner going into the Hulk than all the other characters.
Got it. I didn't mind Mark Ruffalo. I thought in the Avengers it was a little awkward, but then after seeing him for a few movies, he kind of developed into a good Bruce Banner.
Sure.
Right off the bat, I didn't think it was a great fit.
No.
But I liked Hulk's portrayal in Avengers, when he was still that like loose cannon. Like I miss that rage version of the Hulk. I don't want to see the smart Hulk. I hope, and who knows, maybe with this Red Hulk, that's the void they're looking to fill, because this Red Hulk, I doubt is going to be in control like the smart Hulk.
Right.
Which I hope it's not.
So you like the Hulk that was on was it Thor 2 on that War World?
Ragnarok? Yeah, I did like that one. Yeah. That one was cool because now he was mature, like he had evolved enough to where he can communicate a little bit, so he had toned down his rage. That was a cool version. I just wish we got to see more of the, spazzed out rage and Hulk versus, trying to get to that smart Hulk so quick. Yeah. But yeah.
I even like the Eric Bana.
Oh yeah,
Hulk. So
the giant Hulk, right? He was a lot bigger in that movie.
So Edward Norton, Eric Bana, Not even today, Mark Ruffalo.
Damn.
It just doesn't make any
You're
sense
not
to me.
Mark Ruffalo Hulk guy.
No.
I mean, you got the Lou Ferrigno.
Well, probably most of our viewers don't even know who
I know,
Lou
right?
Ferrigno is, right?
Dude, I loved that as a kid. Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
watch that show? The
Oh,
Incredible Hulk?
absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, after you've seen a few episodes, you're like, but that's a different guy. That's not the same guy. Like when you're a kid and you see it, like he's really changing to the Hulk. Then after like a few times, you're like, oh, that's a completely different actor.
Right.
But it fits, dude. It was cool for the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of shows, I don't know if this show is going to make that list, but we're going to rank our top 5 comic book shows,
Okay.
Adrian. So, God Mode is at it again. God Mode on YouTube?
Yep.
God Mode said comic book TV shows. He listed his, and he wanted to know ours. So his top 5 were The Boys. Good choice. Heroes. I've not seen that. Daredevil. Great choice as well.
Okay.
Green Arrow. I'm not seeing much of Green Arrow. You a Green Arrow fan?
I was initially,
Okay.
but it just kind of got long-winded and
Yeah.
kind of nonsensical, so I kind of tuned out.
Got it. Umbrella Academy. I've not watched that yet either. I know it's on Netflix.
I tried.
You said you don't like it, right?
I got it's like right there with Moon Knight.
Ooh, damn. I like Moon Knight, but I know you don't. Honorable mentions: The Shield, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones' first season's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
The Flash, not the movie though. The show.
Right.
Punisher, and then WandaVision. There's some good options, good choices in here.
Wait, The Shield.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a comic book show.
I didn't, because only The Shield that I know about is that cop show, which was like the turning point for network TV, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it was some crazy stuff going on in that show.
Yeah, I don't know if you're talking about that or another one, but anyway, so I provided a nice little list for us to look at, Adrian.
All right.
So we got some Marvel. So it's broken up in a few categories. We're going to do what we always do here. We're just going to talk through it, and by the end, we'll find 5 of our
All right.
favorites, okay?
Sounds good.
So live action Marvel shows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, maybe he's talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Possibly.
That was a decent. I didn't see the whole thing. It started off decent, then I kind of lost interest.
Yeah.
You liked that show, though, right?
I did. I went through the whole process. It was really interesting to see. I think her name was Earthquake. She really developed throughout the whole process.
Okay.
So it was entertaining.
Yeah.
And you had my man, the dude that shows up, the agent that shows up, Coulson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was in it. So that was pretty cool.
Yep, that was the one thing I did like about it was
Yeah.
Agent Coulson. Agent Carter. I've not seen this. This is the Peggy Carter series. I mean, Peggy Carter's a cool character. Have you watched the show though?
There was no point
No.
for that character to whatever.
Yeah, I think it was
for
a
me.
little much. But I mean, she's a good character, but maybe more in a supporting role. Daredevil. I love this show.
Yep.
I've only seen a couple seasons, but the first season's phenomenal.
Right.
Jessica Jones, I'd say the same thing about that show. Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Defenders, Punisher. Although you've seen all those, right?
I have. Iron Fist was probably my least favorite out of the Hell's Kitchen heroes.
Inhumans we talked about earlier.
Right.
You kind of said it was a little mid, but better than the Eternals. Runaways I've never seen. Cloak and Dagger, Legion. I mean, a bunch. WandaVision.
Yep.
That's one that could potentially be up there. I mean, that was a great show.
Yep. Hellstrom. That's interesting. That takes me back. I think this is a dude with like the big pentagram on his chest.
Okay. You seen it?
No, I have not seen it. I didn't know it was a show. I got it. Maybe I'll check it out.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. This is one that, we weren't doing our show back when these series were being released.
Right.
We've not talked about this show a lot. I thought it was okay. Like there were some really cool parts, and then some. I didn't like how dragged out the whole storyline with the boat and Sam Wilson and his sister, and they can't get a mortgage. Like it was just
right.
I like grounded, but dude, that's a little too grounded. You know, like I'm not trying to see y'all go grocery shopping and shit.
Right. It was nonsensical for the type of show that it is.
Yes.
I understand certain struggles,
Correct.
but it didn't at the end make any sense for this show.
Correct.
I mean, the show made sense ultimately.
Yeah.
Because he eventually became, Captain Falcon.
Yeah.
But outside of that, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you like this show or no?
It was okay. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'm sure I missed parts of different shows in the series. So I don't remember a lot of it. because I never saw it,
Right.
parts of it. But it made sense in the end because I'm during the process. I'm like, why is this? Why does this exist?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I thought it was decent. I liked the whole history of the Captain America, and then they had what's his name, Isaiah something. He was the older, like the first black Captain America, super soldier. He was the old guy that Sam kept visiting.
Yep.
So he's rumored to be back in the Captain America Brave New World.
Okay.
And he's mind controlled like Bucky.
Ah.
And he's still a super soldier. I know he's an old guy, but he's still.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's interesting. And then we saw Peggy Carter's granddaughter, Sharon Carter. I forget the name, but she's like some mastermind villain in this. She's kind of working. So there was some setups that we probably will see, continued into Thunderbolts and this other movie.
Okay.
So yeah, it was all right. Loki, I mean, one of my all-time favorite shows, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, this, like, we haven't started our list, but that's going to be on there for me.
I'm still thinking Wolverine and Deadpool gonna show up at Loki's throne, probably kick him in his knee or something.
Right?
I don't know.
Cut his little horns off or something. Hawkeye, great Christmas show.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that show. Ms. Marvel was a lot better than I expected. Moon Knight, you didn't like. I enjoyed Moon Knight. She-Hulk. That's not going to be on your list, is it?
No, not at all.
What If? That won't be on my list.
That won't be on my list.
The Boys, that's probably going to be on my list.
Yeah.
And then Umbrella Academy, we talked about. DC shows, Smallville. You're a big Smallville guy, right?
Oh, yeah. Smallville, that show actually reignited my interest in Superman.
Really?
I was actually disappointed that Tom Welling didn't play Henry Cavill version of the Superman.
Oh, you like to see him continue?
Yeah. I think it would have been cool to see him progress into that, but for some reason they don't do the same actors for television series that they do in movie series.
Right. Arrow, you were a fan of Arrow?
I started watching it, and then at some point it was just long.
Yeah. Gotcha. The Flash, I saw some of this. I thought it was good. It's just kind of long, to your point. Gotham, I actually enjoyed some of these seasons. I feel like it started off really strong. The middle seasons were kind of boring, and the end wrapped up pretty good. You ever seen Gotham?
I started watching a couple of them, but no. I don't think I've gotten through one episode.
Oh, damn. And then there's a bunch of shit on Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Lucifer.
Lucifer, I liked.
You like Lucifer?
Oh yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see that.
Titans, that's one that I really liked. The HBO series.
Yep.
Doom Patrol was a spinoff from the Titans. I didn't really care for that. I tried to get into it.
No, that was it was weird. It's got what's his face? Journey to the Center of the Earth. The Mummy.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. Boy, he looks.
That's right.
He looks. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Talking about transformation. Dude.
Yeah. Yep. Almost unrecognizable.
Yep.
Swamp Thing. I didn't even know that was released yet. That was 2019. Shit,
oh, wow.
Where have I been? Stargirl, Batwoman, Superman, Lois, Peacemaker. I didn't like Peacemaker. You like that?
You enjoyed it. It was mildly. It was entertaining. It was entertaining. It was just one of those ridiculous type of entertaining. Not even like a Suicide Squad kind of entertaining. The Suicide Squad is just ridiculous, but Peacemaker was ridiculously entertaining.
Got it.
If that makes any sense.
Okay. Marvel animated shows, X-Men Evolution. That show was all right. Spectacular Spider-Man.
Never got into it.
Some of these I've never even seen.
Right.
Avengers, Earth Mightiest Heroes. It was okay. I mean, the best few on here to me are the they're not even on here. X-Men the animated series should be on here.
Iron Man should be on here.
Yeah. From the 90s?
No. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Like mid-90s.
No.
It's
when he was a kid. The Armored Adventures.
I know. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yep. But yeah, I think X-Men 97 should be on here. X-Men the animated series. Spider-Man the animated series. Which was great as well. DC has now for DC animation. They have a lot, but I think for me the best one is Batman the animated series.
Okay.
The original. Like you got the Batman Brave and the Bold. How about Batman Beyond? Were you a Batman Beyond fan?
I did watch that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's not on here either, is it?
Nope. No, this list, man. Whoever put this together. Maybe it was me. And then other, Walking Dead, which you had said went on for way too long.
Yeah.
Invincible. I've not seen that yet. You're a big fan of that.
That's pretty cool. But now they kind of messing up season 2. It's like there's no consistency. It'll be weeks and weeks before the next thing come out. Matter of fact, I think they're on season 2 and only 2 or 3 episodes have come out.
Okay.
So it's just weird what they're doing with it.
All right, so top 5 of all time, Adrian. We looked through the list. We mentioned some that are missing off the list. Number 5 for me, what would it be? And this is, again, we're making this up as we go. So
is this top 5 across
all of them,
live action and animated?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Total. Yep. So let me see. Maybe I just give you mine in no particular order. One of mine would be The Boys, definitely.
Yep.
Yep. Would The Boys be on your list or no?
Yeah, I think it'll be. Okay. I think it'll be on my list.
I would put Loki up there.
Yep.
Okay. I would put. I'll give you my 5. So The Boys, Loki, Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say X-Men animated series. I almost got to bump 97 in there instead.
Yeah, I definitely go with that.
X-Men 97, and then Batman the animated series. That's my 5, dude.
All right.
What you got?
I would go with The Boys.
Yep.
Loki.
Yep.
Who else we got in here?
She-Hulk?
No. X-Men 97.
Okay. All right, so you got 3.
I would do Invincible.
Okay.
And probably Daredevil.
There you go.
Daredevil.
Well, there you have our list. So mine, The Boys, X-Men 97, Daredevil, Loki, Batman the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
You had Boys, Loki,
yep,
X-Men 97, Invincible, and Daredevil.
Yep.
There you have it. Top 5 shows. There's some pretty damn good shows in there, too.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions, I would Jessica Jones.
I was going to say Jessica Jones instead. You know what? I'm going to take that back. I'm going to pull out Invincible. I'm going to replace that with WandaVision.
Ooh, okay. That's another honor. Like, that's right on the cusp for me, too. So WandaVision would be a honorable mention for me. Jessica Jones. What else? It was a really good show. The Titans. I think Titans honorable mention for me.
Yep.
I really enjoyed some of those.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would do it for me.
Okay.
Honorable mention. Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucifer.
Oh, yeah. You said you liked that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yep. Well, there you have it, guys. Sound off in the comments. Let us know if you agree with us or what's your top 5. And God Mode. Bro, keep the questions coming, dude.
Yep.
I'm telling you, God Mode's like a third kind of invisible guest on this show, We don't know who he is, what he looks like. I just know that every week he's going to leave some lists on our YouTube channel, and they're going to be good suggestions. So good work, God Mode. Next up, Adrian, we're talking a lot of X-Men stuff this week because, we got X-Men 97 wrapped up. We got Daredevil, Deadpool Wolverine coming out soon. And there's a lot of X-Men featured in that movie. So you have Cassandra Nova, who's Xavier's twin sister. You got that right off the bat. Obviously, you got Wolverine. You got Deadpool, who I don't know if he's ever really been a full X-Men member, but he's always kind of like an affiliate, And then you got Wolverine finally in the X-Men suit.
Okay.
So anyway, Magneto, we've talked about a lot. As you guys recall, I have this fetching helmet here. It is fetching, right?
It is fetching.
We settled that last week. We had talked about Michael Fassbender versus Ian McKellen.
Yep.
Okay. 2 very different. Not that they're different Magnetos. They're at different points in Magneto's life.
Correct.
Right? Because it's supposed to be the same character.
Right.
I think we came to the agreement that Ian McKellen was slightly better. Like, we had said that on Agree to Disagree, but when I say Ian McKellen's better than Michael Fassbender at Magneto, I don't mean like Fassbender sucks. We're talking like, right here, dude.
Right.
Do you still agree Ian McKellen over Fassbender?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. To your point, there's younger version, older version, new, more emotional because Fassbender portrayed coming out of the camps and what he lost.
Correct.
And Mckellen portrayed the culmination of all of that stuff. So it's two different actors, two different time frames, two different power sets being produced.
Right.
But it's just a slight edging out for Mckellen.
Yeah. Fun thing here, or a couple questions for you, Adrian. Two questions. Who was in more X-Men movies, Fassbender or Mckellen?
Fassbender.
Actually, they were equal. They both were in 4.
Really?
Who had more screen time?
I would say Fassbender.
Yeah. So this is interesting. They both were in 4 movies, okay? Fassbender had a total of 90 minutes on screen, and Ian McKellen only had a total of 40 minutes on screen.
I think a lot of that had to do with Fassbender. It was kind of an origin thing for him.
Yep.
And McKellen was like, well, he's already seasoned and we know about him, so,
Well, you know what, now that you say that, a little news piece from years ago came back to me, dude. It's like I have a multiverse up here too of knowledge, right? So X-Men First Class was the first time we saw Michael Fassbender as Magneto, right? X-Men Origins Wolverine. Remember this movie? It was started off really great with that whole war scene, the bone claws, and then that thing got off a cliff really quick. And then somehow we ended up with a Deadpool mouth. It's not even sewn. It was like melted shut.
Something.
And big ass swords coming out of his hand, like ridiculous. And the Cyclops eye blast, like just one of the most ridiculous versions of a bomb ass character. So, yeah, I mean that was crazy, dude. So the plan at that point, they were gonna do a series of X-Men Origins movies, starting with Wolverine. The next one was gonna be Magneto.
Okay.
The X-Men Origins movie bombed. Everybody hated it. So they scrapped the plan. They're like, if the Wolverine one didn't work, the Magneto one is. You know how Hollywood fucking directors think, right? So a lot of that story got reused in X-Men First Class, which, to your point, why it feels like a Magneto origin, right? Like you get a Xavier origin too, but it felt more Magneto heavy, right?
Yep.
Which I thought was cool, man. The whole, the Holocaust piece of it, and him being that young kid and learning how to use his powers and getting revenge on the people that, basically killed his family and whatnot.
Right.
Like, I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Did you like X-Men First Class?
No.
No, really?
I mean, I won't say I didn't like it. It's not like I can't get through it like a Moon Knight kind of a deal.
Okay.
Or I didn't like it like I don't like Captain Marvel.
Yep.
It just, there was an element missing. It just didn't do it for me.
Got it. So I figured it'd be fun to kind of rank each of their movies, right? So they both were in 4. Michael Fassbender was in X-Men First Class.
Okay.
Days of Future Past.
Yep.
Which I love that movie. X-Men Apocalypse. I do not love that movie. And then X-Men Dark Phoenix. I don't love that movie more than I don't love the other 2. So if that makes any sense. Of those movies, I mean, is Days of Future Past your favorite of those 4?
I would say it's the better of the 4.
Better of 4,
right?
okay. Yeah, I would rank that one number 1. First Class number 2. Here's where you get tricky.
And then the rest of them. Just
yeah,
put it
like,
that way.
all right, well, here's the question, Adrian. You're in jail, okay?
Yep.
You have to watch one of these movies to be released.
The first one.
Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix.
Apocalypse.
Okay.
Because I'd rather see a horrible portrayal of someone that I'm not familiar with than to see a horrible portrayal of somebody that to me is on par with a Wolverine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You can do something dirty or bad to somebody I don't know.
Okay.
But don't do something dirty or bad to somebody I do know. Kind of a concept.
So that's just more of a personal preference thing. Like so you don't know much about Apocalypse.
No.
Wow.
No.
Dude, he's a badass. He's one that I think you'd love to do a deep dive on. Like he's a badass motherfucker, and we're gonna see a lot of him. I'm thinking in the next season of X-Men '97.
Yeah, but there's this whole thing. I and you're probably right. I need to do a deep dive because there's this whole thing about he's the first mutant, right? But then there's this other thing. I don't know where I heard this from, that mutants started as a result of like the super soldier thing. If somebody out there knows, let us know.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
But
you don't really hear that one?
I don't know. Maybe I dreamt it.
Maybe
I just made it up. Who knows?
You never know, dude. But I think I'd agree more from the standpoint that I think X-Men Apocalypse is a slightly better movie than Dark Phoenix. And that's not saying much, but because I think Apocalypse is the one where we see that scene you were talking about with Fassbender in the woods when his family's killed, and then he kills all the soldiers. I like Apocalypse over Dark Phoenix because we get to see a badass Magneto.
Right.
So I think that is probably the highlight of that film.
But think about all the mutants, right?
Yeah.
And an Apocalypse can give and or enhance a mutant ability. So the fact that the movie was as bad as it was with a mutant with that kind of power, dude, they really nerfed him. They really nerfed him.
Did. And he just looked weird. Like that's a character that I've said this before. You give the Thanos treatment. The whole I'm a big fan of practical effects, like the less CGI we can have, we can spend more time with building some sets and making it look. I'm a big fan of that,
right?
But a character the size and level of Apocalypse should not be a dude with makeup and a suit,
right? So like The Rock with Shazam, perfection,
correct?
Right? So find a person, find an actor, find an actress that looks like the person, and then do a couple of enhancements. Correct. Don't convert a 800-year-old shriveled up old man into Black Adam.
Right.
That's a wide example.
Yeah.
That's an extreme example, but that's my point of what Hollywood tries to do. They take somebody that looks nothing like or can't portray somebody or an actress that cannot portray a character properly, and they try to force the issue.
Sure.
And that's what they did with Apocalypse.
Yeah,
dude.
absolutely, dude. Because, again, like we said earlier, Oscar Isaac, great actor, not Apocalypse.
Yep.
Funny you brought up The Rock. There was a rumor about a couple weeks back that that MCU was talking to The Rock about playing Apocalypse. It's like, I think he could pull it off, dude.
He's big enough. He's got the presence.
Yeah.
He's probably shit himself out of DC altogether.
That's a good point. So, but that I agree with your ranking. Now, Ian McKellen, he's also in 4 X-Men movies. He was in the original X-Men movie. He was in X2. He was in X-Men: The Last Stand, and then X-Men: Days of Future Past. My ranking for these, I would say number 1 would be X2. Number 2 would be Days of Future Past. 3 would be X-Men. And 4 would be The Last Stand.
Is X2 the one where he broke out of jail with the...
Yes.
I put that number 1, and the rest of them, they can fall where they fall.
Dude, that is... it's up there of pure X-Men movies. Like, if we're leaving Logan and Deadpool out, Days of Future Past and X2 are my top 2.
Right.
I think X2 is better.
So not only was the breakout scene cool, it had the hottest, the best Mystique.
Yes.
Rebecca
Romijn.
Rebecca Romijn. Yes.
So, if I'm looking at these, would you agree that Ian McKellen had better movies than Michael Fassbender as a whole?
I'm not going to say better movies.
Okay.
I think that he had a better, more refined role in the movies that he played in.
Okay. I would say, here's why I'd say better movies. So the only bad movie that McKellen was in for me was X3. That was a bad movie with the Juggernaut. And you want to talk about, you talk about Dark or Phoenix, Jean Grey, a character who was amazing.
Right.
Could you believe that they fucked that up twice?
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. I can't believe that.
Famke Jensen was a great Jean Grey.
Right.
And they fucked it up with her. That's impressively bad.
That's like, so we got somebody popular, don't want the role, right? Can't play the role. Physically, presence-wise, not in the role.
Nope.
Right? And they're gonna, because she's popular, we're gonna fit her, which is what they did with Halle Berry.
Yep.
Right? they're popular, so let's just force them into this role, which I don't agree with.
Yeah.
And it shows on screen.
Right. Absolutely. So Fassbender, Mckellen's Magneto. They both, you talked about the prison scene. They both had some really cool moments on screen.
Sure.
There was a scene in, I think it's Apocalypse, where they go back to Auschwitz.
Right.
And he destroys everything. Like, literally, and this is where you talk about Apocalypse enhancing his powers.
Right.
I think he enhanced them right before that. And then he literally pulls, like, the iron out of the dirt and just demolishes the whole...
I'm not sure if he possibly did.
Yeah.
But I think it's more because I think Magneto could have done that all
I think
along,
so too. Yeah.
You know, but the coolest Magneto scenes for me was the wood scene.
Yeah.
With the arrow, not the arrow, but the fact that he used the necklace to take out, and when he kind of like sneakily saved the dude from being crushed by that metal thing. So it's more subtle things like that. You know, the lifting of a train or garden. The Golden Gate Bridge and all that other kind of stuff. I mean, everybody does that, you know. So
Everybody does
it's the subtle control that I like.
Yeah, I like the big scenes, dude. I like the I think one of my favorite Magneto scenes was Fassbender lifting RFK Stadium and dropping that bitch right around the White House. Like first of all, the flex of the power, number one. And just, bro, you're going at the president. Like, Magneto does not give a fuck.
Right.
That was cool. Like, that whole, so that was one of my favorites. Now, suits. We've seen many different comic suits, right, for both of them. I would say that Fassbender had better Magneto suits.
I would say it looked more appropriate on Fassbender than Mckellen.
Yeah. Because Mckellen's were, and I understand it was the times, like, they were still in that phase of, like, not going too over the top with the suits. Like, they weren't comic accurate yet. I mean, the X-Men were all wearing, like, dominatrix freaking black leather and shit. Like, what? This is like 50 Shades of Grey or X-Men. What the hell's going on here?
Right.
But I think Ian McKellen's Magneto suffered from that a little bit. Because if you remember, he kind of just wore, like, black cloaks and shit. And he had, like, the mini version. His helmet was not as fetching as this one.
It was not.
But Ian McKellen, I mean,
you should have saw your face, man. You look almost offended that
I am
that they you in your mind. Why am I even comparing?
Right.
You know, his helmet to this helmet. That was fun.
Yeah, dude. It's you. Well, you know how I feel, Adrian.
Yep.
I was just trying to convey my emotions here.
You did it well. It was conveyed.
See, dude, we're like professionals. That guy also said, you know, having a YouTube channel doesn't make you have a good podcast. Like, we know. But we have a good podcast. I'm going to say that.
But we're not trying to have a good podcast.
That's true.
We're trying to have fun.
There you go. But, yo, Fassbender, I mean, I'm looking at some of his suits, dude. He had some bad, and his helmets were more comic accurate.
Yeah.
They had all this shit on there, this fetchingness, as we're going to call it. And I like, you know, I like that he had more of the maroons, and it just looked more comic accurate, which, again, is not really McKellen's fault. But, so there you have it. But I still stand on the fact that Ian McKellen was slightly better because I like that experience, that veteran Magneto, like very like zero tolerance for anyone's bullshit. You know. Now the other one, I think Fassbender was a little more unhinged. You know, with some of the shit he did. Remember on the plane when he's arguing with Wolverine and Xavier, and he like almost sinks the plane, everything fucking falls over, and then Wolverine's like, "You pick all that shit up now." But so anyway, now if there was one of these, like, all right, let's go back to the jail question. You're in jail. The only way you're gonna get out is if you allow either Fassbender or Mckellen to reprise their role as Magneto. Who would you pick?
Across any situation, I would say Fassbender.
Yeah, me too. I think just more because he's younger.
Right.
I'd actually like to see Fassbender with the white hair.
Yeah.
Like a full-blown Magneto.
Yeah. And the reason I preface that with across any situation is because I'd rather see Mckellen in some reprisals and Fassbender in others. But if you're going to say you got to pick one, it would be Fassbender.
Yeah. But I would also say that the X-Men 97 Magneto portrayal is probably the best. For this recent, you know, so. Well, there you have it, little Fassbender versus Mckellen. So we and I think we had that the fan base was a little torn on that. Like there was a lot of people that agree with us that Fassbender, and there's a lot, or that Mckellen was, but there's a lot of Fassbender fans out there.
Right.
But I think he had more of an origin, and I think more of an emotional story, and he was on screen a lot more.
Right.
Because we saw Mckellen was past all of that trauma.
Right.
Fassbender we kind of saw go through it.
Right.
Right. All right. Now, Adrian, we end the show like we do now every week with agree to disagree.
Let's do it.
This is where I rapid fire handful of my opinions at you, and you just let us know if you agree or disagree. Okay. And these are things. So for all of you guys watching, that I may have just made up this morning while we were doing the show. So my point is, don't get in your feelings if you don't agree with us. Okay. Because I may not agree with this by the time I get home today.
Right.
But I think these ones are pretty good. They're pretty solid.
Yeah,
So you ready?
I'm ready.
Number 1, Deadpool 2 was better than Deadpool 1.
Disagree.
Dark Phoenix was better than Madam Web.
Ugh. Okay, reluctantly, I agree.
Alexander Ship's Storm was better than Halle Berry's.
Agree.
That's going to piss some people off.
That's
but
okay.
Again, Halle Berry's probably a better actress.
Well, I've only seen Ship in one movie, and that's as Storm.
Okay.
So I don't know what her career is.
Yeah.
I kind of grew up watching Halle Berry.
Sure.
So I don't. That's not really a comparison for me.
Okay. But as a Storm portrayal.
As a Storm portrayal, yes.
Yep.
I was just thinking about the iconic actors and actresses for each of these roles, and there has not been one for Storm.
Correct. Yep. So hopefully, when they do the X-Men again, we get a much better version. But
can they age? What do you call it when they age?
de-age.
De-age somebody. Famke Jensen.
Angela Bassett.
Angela. Well, that's portraying her as a character. I'm talking about somebody that's already the iconic actor or actress, right?
Okay. Yep.
So Rebecca, what's her face?
Romijn.
Romijn. Now, the Fassbender, Ian McKellen thing, we can just pick one of those depending on what we're trying to do.
Yep.
I'll even take, what's his face as Scott Summers, right?
Which one? The James Marsden, the original one?
The James Marsden, yeah.
He was pretty
good. Yeah, he
dude.
was pretty cool. He was pretty cool.
I think what he suffered from was the writing and stuff. Like
of course.
His portrayal of Cyclops, I think, was true to comics.
Yeah.
Like if Cyclops doesn't annoy you a little bit, then it's not really Cyclops.
Right.
Right. At least that's me. Someone commented on YouTube like, he's not cringe. It's wholesome. Professor Xavier and Cyclops or something about the good. I'm like, you know what? Hey.
Okay.
Have at it, dude. All right. So, number 4. The Long Halloween is the best Batman story ever told.
Agree.
Superman would not solo the Justice League.
Superman would not
solo the Justice League.
Agree.
X-Men 97's Magneto portrayal is better than both Fassbender's and McKellen's.
Absolutely.
And last but not least, there are plenty of other comic book podcasts, shows, or fun out there. But in the great words of Kendrick Lamar, Adrian, they're not like us.
I agree.
There we go. Well, there you have it. Another show in the books, another week of fun. Guys, sound off. Let us know if you agree with us. If you don't, we don't really care either way. But no, we do. I mean, it's all for fun. And, for any of you other accounts that want to take things out of context, just make sure you tag us so we can respond appropriately, or just don't, and we all can just, have fun on TikTok together. But whatever you want to do.
That's it.
But Adrian, appreciate you coming out.
Always.
Another great hidden gem. You kind of like little, what's it, like a backhanded compliment hidden gem almost?
It's kind of an open discussion,
yeah.
A little bit,
Right.
He definitely deserves his props.
He does. Yeah.
But.
Yeah. But he's kind of like, he's like Tom Brady. He gets too many props, so it's natural and it's an easy target to kind of take him down a little bit,
Can Tom Brady play Superman?
I mean, he's got the jaw, right?
Right? And we've seen in that last picture of the new Superman, they can do anything with the suits,
sure,
right? So,
absolutely.
Hey, Tom Brady, Giselle's done with you. You know?
Yeah. Hey, yeah, you got all time in the
swing
world.
by DC.
Look at that. Maybe Tom Brady. Then next, you're fan casting, dude.
Hey.
That's awesome.
It's called premonition.
Okay. Are you speaking into existence?
No, not at all.
So if this happens, we blame you. You're throwing it out.
Okay, I'll take it.
Got it. All right. Well, up next week, I don't know what's up next week. It'll be a surprise for you all.
We'll figure out something.
Yeah, we'll figure out something. But we got Deadpool and Wolverine coming up in a couple months,
Yep.
so that's going to be a big. And I think we're going to lean more into some X-Men, dude. X-Men, Deadpool. Why not? It's the season of Deadpool and Wolverine.
There you go.
know. So who knows? Maybe we'll have a Wolverine discussion next week.
I think they should do a Wolverine Halloween show.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right. There you go.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
You know what, Kevin? Yeah, get done.
because all the other shows, they're kind of like fading out. You know, you watch the Batman one every year.
Right.
So we need some new stuff. You
The
know,
Wolverine thing. You know what would be really cool is Wolverine versus Hulk. I know they've done like an animated movie in the past, but like now, like think about the style and the technology behind X-Men '97, and do a Wolverine versus Hulk.
I'd rather see a purist Japanese animation version of Wolverine versus the Hulk. Yeah,
I got you, dude. I was watching Across the Spider-Verse last night, and I was thinking like, and I know this was a rumor recently, but an X-Men animated movie done in that style, or done by not the exact same style, but done by that studio.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, I like the live action stuff, but I almost wish they would kind of lean more in towards the animated movies.
Yeah,
and make that their focus.
They should find the guy who did the Hulk versus Superman animation thing, and let him do something somewhere.
Yeah,
you know, not necessarily the artwork. The artwork wasn't quite there for me.
Right,
but just the storyline and the portrayal of the power was phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
So there you go. Find them on YouTube. Look, we're helping people get signed and everything.
All right, that's it, right?
Only Comics is also a gift.
Exactly.
It's fun and it's a gift.
Right.
So there you have it. Well, that was your gift this week, guys. Join us next week for another great gift. And hey, you know what? Let us know if so I'm thinking about this, Adrian, going live every once in a while. Okay, do a little live on TikTok and interact with some people real time. So y'all let us know if that's something you're interested in, because we listen to the fans around here.
That's it.
So we're not only fans, we're only comics, but we do listen to our fans. So
absolutely,
a little different. Mayo. Anyways, all right. Thank you, Adrian. Thanks for coming out.
No problem,
guys. You know where to find us every week right here: Spotify, YouTube, and the TikTok Shorts. We'll see you next week.